You're watching Inside Automotive with Jim Fitzpatrick.
Hey everyone, Jim Fitzpatrick. Thanks so much for joining us on the show today. Your mindset at the start of the day can shape your performance and the overall success of your team. On today's show, we're discussing the importance of having the right mindset, specifically today in the F&I department. So joining us now is Cory Collins, who's a speaker and National F&I Trainer for Automotive Reinsurance Concepts. Thank you so much, Cory, for joining us today. If there's one thing that we need right now today is the right mindset in so many areas of the dealership, but I know today we're talking specifically about the F&I office. And as a former F&I manager of 5 years of my automotive career, I'm anxious to talk to you today about this. So it's often said, how you do anything is how you do everything. Can you elaborate on why it's so important, especially in F&I, to have that right mindset?
Oh, absolutely. You know, a lot of F&I managers, as I travel across the country, don't really grasp this concept until I walk in and explain it. But the F&I office inside a dealership, they touch every department throughout the day.
Yeah.
And it starts first thing in the morning, whether you realize it or not. So, you know, when an F&I manager walks into his office or her office and turns the light on and sits down and hits the power button on the computer and sets the cup of coffee down, within 30 seconds, there's a sales rep at the door that wants to know about a deal from last night when they were trying to get in the car and got stopped and pulled back out. And it's easy to get frustrated in that situation. And here's what happens. If you get frustrated and if you growl a little, because, I mean, it's understandable, we're only human.
Right.
But what happens when that salesperson goes back out to the group or to the huddle, I like to call it, they, immediately they let everybody know, oh, gosh, you don't want to go back in there today. It's horrible.
That's right. That's right.
The chain reaction then is the salesperson, you know, even if it's not that salesperson, they get their first customer of the day, they go to the sales desk, and the last thing they want to do is go back to the F&I office. Well, then they tell the sales manager the F&I department's in a bad mood, and then, you know, service is going to call with an issue, and service, is going to find out that F&I is in a bad mood, and it spreads like a wildfire.
Right.
And in 10 minutes, you know, the F&I manager can completely reset and reshape their day. And in that 10-minute time frame, it's too late. The attitude for the entire store has shifted and changed to negative.
No question.
It just breathes right into the customer. So when the customer comes into the F&I office, what kind of expectation do they have?
That's right.
I don't want to be here either.
That's right. That's right. And then when it comes time to say, well, how come we're not getting the salespeople to give us all of these cash conversions? They're like, cash conversion? We don't even want to deal with the F&I office, let alone give you the opportunity to make any money, right? And I will tell you, as a salesperson on the showroom floor early in my day, before going into F&I, I had those experiences with the F&I office, and I vowed then, boy, if I'm ever given the chance to be an F&I manager in the auto industry, I'm never going to be like one of these managers. And I'm sorry to tell you that I probably did turn into a little bit of that scenario that you just described in the coffee, where you're, get away from my office, get away from my desk, don't talk to me till 12 o'clock. And it just happens. We all deal in these high stress situations, and everybody's pulling at you, including the banks that are saying we need more down payment, or that one's not approved, or whatever the case might be. So you do feel the squeeze. So it is important to have a great mindset, but also very, very difficult, right?
No, you're 100% right. You make a good point there when you mentioned the bank. Think about this for a second. You call a funder to find out the status of a deal, and you grumble at them. Do you think your deal goes to the top of the pile or the bottom when there's an issue or you need an exception?
I agree.
It's such a powerful thing that people just don't even begin to realize until they take a step back and really start to think about their effect on everyone else. I made a commitment when I left the franchise world 2.5 years ago and came out on the road as a full-time F&I trainer, started running a warranty and reinsurance company, that I would make sure that every day when I got in the car, it was like walking through the tunnel as an NFL player, and I would remember that it's game time, and my attitude and my impact circles 100% around the attitude that I bring into the dealership when I come. I want to radiate light. That's one thing that I pride myself on, and I think that all my dealers would tell you is when I walk into a store, I radiate, and I want to. I'm proud of that. I think it speaks volumes, not just for myself, but for my company and my leadership example, is because I understand, how powerful that mindset is.
Yeah, but Cory, you don't understand. We're 300 deals deep and we had a crazy weekend and these salespeople drive me crazy and they want an answer and they spot delivered 12 cars last night that they shouldn't have, and you just have not sat in my seat and you don't understand. It's hard to have come in with a smile. What do you say to those F&I managers?
Oh, you're 100% right. I mean, I couldn't agree with you more, but here's what you have to understand, and here's what they have to really just digest, and that is, if I can impact everyone inside the store with my attitude, and I want to have the best day ever, and I want to take advantage of every opportunity I have today and make a difference, then it starts the minute I step out of the car. When my foot touches the blacktop or the gravel, from that very moment, my head up, my shoulders back, because people look at you, they make a decision based on your body language and your facial expression. And if you don't realize that, it's too late by the time you do. But
that's right.
The best part about it is every day is a new opportunity. Every day is a fresh chance to change your perspective and get back on point. I used to get irritated when I'd have a salesperson bring me one cash deal after another. And when I started to get excited just to have an opportunity when business got slow, and every deal was an opportunity, to take care of my family and take care of myself and take care of the store. When you get excited just to have an opportunity, then salespeople aren't afraid to bring a deal back to your office, and they'll set you up a lot better, and they'll work with you. And honestly, if your culture is going to be a winning culture in your store, then it starts in the finance department and the finance department's attitude.
Yeah, no question about it. I agree. In fact, I feel so strong about this very topic because it means so much in the dealership today, actually in any company, to have the right mindset and to come in with a positive attitude. It's probably important that you not only share this with the F&I department, but also the used car manager, the new car manager, the GSM, the GM, because if you will just have one manager out there that's holding the flag of positivity and the others are like, what's this guy doing? Or what's this girl doing? What's the deal? It's so important for the entire dealership to start with that positive mindset every day, right? Whether you're the fixed ops director, the F&I manager, or the GSM, right?
Oh, you're 100% right. If you want to create the best customer experience in your store and you want to set yourself out and set your dealership apart from the one across the street, what better way to do it than to create an environment that people are excited to walk into, because the attitude inside the building surpasses everything else.
That's right.
If they, I've heard it my whole life and I've never really understood it as much as I do now, but that saying that says customers don't care how much you know, but they know how much you care.
Yeah.
That's a fact. That is a reality of where we're at today. And you can spend all the money you want to spend in advertising to get somebody in the store, but if the culture inside the store is bad or the mindset of the team is bad,
that's right,
then it's just wasted money.
That's right. There's no question about it. And if you're mad at somebody, a salesperson or an F&I closer or a service advisor or what have you, and you show that anger, that it's not like football or some sport where you scream at the guy on the sideline and therefore he's going to go out and tackle somebody harder. It's not like that. You're going to get a much more from that individual if you can pump them up and get them motivated to go out and do the right job with the customer. And I think we lose sight of that sometimes. I see it happen in showrooms and service centers all the time, where a manager will come out and go, what were you thinking? And we can't do it that way, and get out there, and how come you did it this way or did it that way? And now you've got an associate that's just so bummed out. If they don't start looking for a job right away, they're going to, go take a coffee break and go, I don't even know if I want to stay in this industry, right? And ultimately, who do they usually take it out on? The customer, right?
You're 100% correct. And I got to tell you, I came across a story yesterday where a desk manager and a salesperson got in a fight in a showroom and it was in front of customers. And all I could think about was, it's bad enough that they got in a fight, and it's bad enough they did it in front of a customer, but could you imagine the ripple effect through the entire store the rest of the day?
Unbelievable.
I'm a big believer that 7 minutes can cost you $7,000.
Yeah.
And I use that terminology a lot.
That's right.
And it's because of the impact of one episode or one flare-up or one misunderstanding inside the dealership. That's the cost. I mean, the reality is 7 minutes can cost you $7,000.
That's right.
If you take the salesperson off their game, the desk manager off their game, the sales manager off, the GSM, used car manager, then the GM's got to get involved. Now all of a sudden we have an entire dealership that stopped doing business to fix what could have been fixed if everybody understood how important their attitude was when they got in the car and got out at the dealership that morning.
Yeah, there's no question about it. So it's so important for those that are listening. Maybe this will help you today to say, hey, let me take a breather here. Let me recalibrate and come in with a great attitude. And you might be just the element that store needs in order to change the whole mindset of the store. And I live a very grateful life. You can't be both grateful and mad at the same time. So that's always been my recommendation, to look at what you've got around you and the job that you have and the customers you've got and the salespeople and everything else, if you're in the auto industry retail side, and be grateful of that. And sometimes that'll put you right back on the positivity track, right?
Oh, there's no question. I consider myself unique in the aspect of F&I training, and I host 4 F&I schools a year, and I start every single one of them. We spend the first hour just talking about mindset.
Yeah.
And it's not because I want everybody to be in the right mindset for the training. It's because I want everyone to go back and make a difference. If you can go back and make a difference in the culture of your store, it was worth every minute that you were out of the store. And the ripple effect of positivity is just the same as the ripple effect of negativity.
That's
I
right.
can either turn the store up or I can turn the store down. And it can be a 30-second instance that makes that difference. So why not choose to go back and be the light, the positive impact, kind of like the Disney mindset, if you will. When people show up at Disney World in the morning and they walk through the gate, they've been standing in line for 15 minutes. They're aggravated. Their kids are hot,
Sure.
and the first thing you do is you smell that popcorn and you're like, oh, well, I think the same thing happens when you walk into somewhere, whether it's a clothing store or an airport to check your bags or a dealership, and you see somebody that's just smiling and radiating and just excited to have another opportunity to live today and understand what a blessing today is. Today is the greatest day of your life, whether you realize it or not, because you can't get yesterday back and tomorrow's not a promise.
That's right.
So when you understand that today is such a gift, that no matter how bad things are, or no matter how awful things look, you've made it to this point. You've had plenty of times in your life where you stood in that same position where it can't get any worse. This is the worst day of my life. And yet here you are today, you made it through that. So if you can just stop and take a deep breath and realize what today can give you, if you're open arms and ready to receive it.
Cory Collins, speaker and National F&I Trainer for Automotive Reinsurance Concepts. Cory, thanks so much. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
All right, thanks.
Thanks for watching Inside Automotive with Jim Fitzpatrick.